At CRESTCon this year, you spoke about security in the cloud, and the cloud has to be one of the hottest topics among IT directors and indeed boards as companies are looking to drive costs out of their infrastructure. What are the main security concerns as you see it?
Well, the work that we did was looking at infrastructure as a service within the cloud, and we were investigating what's the reality of these concerns, because there's lots of people talking about the cloud is insecure, but why is it insecure? Is it really insecure? So we did some work last year of renting some cloud nodes and investigating the actual attacks that an attacker could do. Because in the new world of the cloud, an attacker can rent their own node and use the node as a base to attack the other providers and get through that way.
So did you set up honeypots then?
No, we were acting as both the attacker and the victim. So we would be the attacker going after our own node and using the various different attack vectors which are now opened up with the cloud to penetrate our own node.
So what sort of security weaknesses did you find?
We found quite a few different concerning ones. Some of them were security weaknesses, some of them were more limitations of the use of the cloud. So there was particular aspects around the networking side of things, where there was internal and external networks, which was different to the traditional model where an attacker can get closer. Also within the actual shared resources, particularly within the disk provisioning, so the sharing of disk data, we were able to find quite serious security concerns. And during my talk, I included some of those details, but more details will be coming out later.
Is that what you expected to find, or was it worse than you expected?
I think it was probably worse than I expected, because some of the issues we found were reasonably trivial to actually discover and exploit and pretty serious. And so it was surprising that the providers themselves had not done the same sort of testing, found these issues earlier and resolved them.
So from a company perspective, from the customer perspective, that raises some real concerns, doesn't it? Because if these services are being provided to businesses as is, and organisations aren't carrying out due diligence, they could be leaving themselves open to all sorts of risks.
Yes, but with any service, as a customer of that service, you should investigate the security, test for it, and verify whether it is going to provide you with what you're looking for, and not make an assumption that because you're buying that service, it will be secure. So I think there's a responsibility on both sides, both the purchasing community as well as the provider community.
So with that in mind, where should a CISO or a Chief Security Officer start? If they're thinking about deploying the cloud, or other parts of the business have indeed started to deploy the cloud, how should they start to do their security due diligence?
Well, the white paper that we wrote last year, which my talk was based upon, goes into details about the various different, when you're looking at cloud as a service, the various different things that need to be considered and looked at. I think that sort of provides a good basis for understanding what are the risks and the reality and what sort of things can be done.
And do you think companies are taking this seriously enough?
I think at the moment it's not necessarily been at the top of the list in terms of concerns, but hopefully by raising awareness around these security issues, then this will come out more.
Michael Jordon from Context IS, thank you very much.
No problems.